Now that we're past the halfway mark within offseason training camp, 2 weeks away from roster cuts, just a few more practices away from the regular season, we're going to be discussing the current workout schedule, the regime, the intensity that's going on in training camp. I'm your host, Azael Mejia, with Commander Digest, reporting everything all Washington Commanders offseason, regular season, anything between. So if you want to be caught up to date, everything Commanders, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Yes, you heard that right. Even how the Commanders performed in that first preseason game, the intensity in training camps is starting to ramp up. We're going to be discussing certain players that obviously their spots are secured, but even that, the intensity in training camp has risen with regular season right around the corner. I've done the research, believe it or not, so you don't have to. We're going to be breaking it down. But before we do that, if you're new viewer to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're just 3 weeks away from officially being back, from being officially official, where the games are going to matter. So you don't want to miss it. We're going to be covering everything. And if you're a returning viewer, make sure you are subscribed, because 87.5 of y'all who are watching the videos are not subscribed. That's crazy. For the free skis, it doesn't charge you nothing, and it takes like 2 seconds. You can legit subscribe while you're watching the videos. That's how easy it is. But back to it. Like I said, intensities have risen. We're just a couple more practices away. Regular season. Certain things didn't go how the Commanders wanted it to for that game 1 preseason game. We're going to be discussing how the starters have been working. Certain things are working. Certain schemes that we can expect from the starters, from the team heading into this regular season. We're going to be breaking it down with some quotes we have. All this provided by Zach Selby, senior writer for the Commanders, discussing first of all that connection between Jayden Daniels and Zack Ertz. It's been said quite a bit by now, but Daniels truly has a unique connection with tight end Zack Ertz. Daniels completed 2 passes during the final period of practice, and both were caught by Ertz on a crossing route. Ertz still knows how to use his leverage to get open downfield, which was a key for the offensive success last season. He doesn't appear to be slowing down. W quote by Zach. I believe W reading by me, but we all knew this connection was something special coming off of last season, where they made some clutch plays. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can remember those clutch plays down the stretch of the season where Zack Ertz, I specifically remember the Atlanta. It was an Atlanta Sunday night, and I think it was also against the Buccaneers, that playoff game. He did make some clutch passes. So it's just great to see that that connection is building, and that's why you sign Zack Ertz back. I know there was discussions of him maybe heading into retirement after the NFC Championship game last season. But it's great to see how this experience with the Commanders, with this new era with Jayden Daniels, Zack Ertz himself said that he found his love of the game again. And that's great to see. You sign him to a 1-year deal, and you're just building off that connection, which you sort of, maybe if they expect to sign a wide receiver back, you can expect the same thing. It's not here or there. Today's video is not about him. But it's just great to see that they're still flowing, that they're going to pick up where they left off last year. It's just great to see all around. Now we have this other quote by Zach discussing Deebo Samuel beating the fat allegations, the slow allegations for all the people that are saying, oh, Deebo Samuels is washed. This is what Zach had to say. Screens were a heavy emphasis for the Commanders' offense today, and it looked efficient running them at different parts of the field. Deebo Samuels were often on the receiving end of those screen passes, and the wideout clearly has a good feel for how to weave through blockers for yards after the catch. We love to see it. You know, like I said, people kept saying, oh, he looks bigger. He looks on the bigger side. This is comparison to NBA terms, James Harden when he wanted out of Houston. He's just looking on the bigger side. We love to see. Even Dan Quinn has said he's one of the fastest people on the field when he's on there. So it's just great to see. Even especially emphasis on catch after the run. It's just great to see. Not just him just catching the ball and just getting a couple yards here and there. He's fighting for extra yards in practice. Like I said, work hard now in practice so it can look easy in real in-game time scenarios. It's just great to see. Also, for the final quote, we have Zach discussing rookie Jaylin Lane. Like I said, roster cuts are coming, and just because you're new doesn't mean they're going to keep you here. We also have what Zach had to say about Jaylen Lane, saying this: rookie Jaylen Lane is another receiver who had a strong day for the offense. In addition to his speed and versatility, Jaylen was drafted because of his route running and how he's able to create separation at the line of scrimmage. Lane did a good job at that, working against Ben Nickel, using his leverage to get open on a crossing route. Another W quote by Zach. He's just coming through with the quotes today, which is great to see because Jaylen Lane obviously being a rookie, drafted in the later rounds. So it looks like there could be a big up for the Commanders, getting a steal from him in the later rounds. And like I said, there's a certain wide receiver that we don't know the future for. A lot of people, I've heard little whispers, but I'm not going to say nothing here or there. But with a team that's struggling within that wide receiver position, looking maybe number one receiver not being there, we got to, like I said, and not a Commander Digest video if there's not a quote in there. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So obviously, with us may or may not playing with without a wide receiver one, true wide receiver one, Jaylen Lane stepping up as a rookie. And what can you expect when you have guys like Dan Quinn? You have Cliff Kingsbury running up the schemes. You have Jayden Daniels throwing the ball. You have an offensive line that is getting great and providing that support for Jalen for you have players to cook up. So it's just great to see how everything comes into fruition. And we discussed this. If one portion of the team gets better, everybody gets better. And with the intensity always growing right now, with regular season right around the corner, and you have all this outside drama. I know we discussed it before that certain wide receivers said they wanted no drama, but with all this noise in the outside, with off-field things, with business terms being handled, it's great to see that the Commanders are still up to par to keep everything in place. You guys let me know in the comments, do we expect the Commanders to be as great as they were last season? 12-5? Comment down below what you think the record is going to be. Some people are saying sophomore slump. Some people are saying they're going to play above and beyond. Like I said, some big media companies have them number one. I'm not saying it, but you can look it up. Some big media companies have them going number one. But it's just great to see that the whole offense is flowing. And you may not see it right now in preseason because not all the starters are playing. But we should definitely expect this going into game one, because game one is going to be a big rival game, a division game against the New York Giants. So you want to play your best. And like I said, with certain people may or may not be in there, it's just great to see the Commanders are still keeping their heads to the ground, still working hard in practice. It's just going to make everybody better. So when you see Deebo Samuels over here beating the fat, slow allegations, and then you see Zack Ertz playing at his best right now than he was at his peak, it's just great to see that the chemistry between Jayden Daniels, Zack Ertz, Deebo Samuel, Jaylen Lane, the offense is cooking right now. So what can we expect? Where do you guys think the offense is going to rank? Because I've seen a lot of posts not having the Commanders up there, which is surprising to me, because how are you going to make the NFC Championship and not have them in top 10 offenses? That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to just keep it at that. But, you know, if anything breaks within the Commanders atmosphere, we'll be covered right here in the channel. We have the notifications on. Like I said, I've heard whispers. Supposedly, I'm not going to say anything official because nothing is official from official wording, but supposedly the next big news is going to break before game 2 of preseason game 2 against the Bengals. Supposedly, don't quote me on that. But I've heard certain things. Like I said, if anything breaks within the Commanders atmosphere, you know it'll be covered right here on the channel. I'm Azael Mejia with Commander Digest, and I'll see you in the next video.